The morning sun spilled softly through the cafe's large windows, casting a golden glow on the freshly polished tables. The air smelled of roasted coffee and warm pastries. It was one of those cozy mornings when the world seemed gentle, except for Lena, who was running late for her shift at the flower shop across the street. Her little daughter, Mia, trailed behind, clutching a small stuffed bunny in one hand and a half-eaten croissant in the other. "Come on, sweetheart, just a few more steps," Lena said breathlessly as she entered the cafe. She wasn't planning to stay long, just enough to grab a quick coffee before work. The cafe wasn't crowded, but one corner was occupied by a man sitting alone. He was tall, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit, with dark hair neatly brushed back and eyes that seemed to hold the weight of the world. His name was Ethan Cole, CEO of a billion-dollar company, though no one here knew that. He wasn't here for business. He was here because, for the first time in years, he wanted to feel normal. Lena ordered her coffee and helped Mia settle into a chair. The little girl swung her legs, humming softly to herself, her eyes wandering around the cafe, until they stopped at the man in the corner. She stared at him, long enough for him to notice. When their eyes met, Ethan gave a polite nod and looked away. But Mia didn't. She tilted her head, studying him, her young face full of innocent curiosity. Then, in her small, bright voice, she said loudly, "Mom, that's him." Lena blinked. "That's who, sweetie?" Mia pointed directly at the man. "That's the man from my dream." The cafe went quiet for a second. Ethan froze, his coffee cup halfway to his lips. Lena flushed. "Mia, honey, don't say things like that. You'll scare the poor man." But Mia shook her head stubbornly. "No, Mommy, he was in my dream. He was sad and sitting just like this. And I gave him flowers so he could smile again." Lena gave an apologetic smile toward Ethan. "I'm so sorry, sir." She has a wild imagination. Ethan managed a small chuckle, though his chest felt strangely tight. "It's all right. Kids say the most unexpected things." Yet something about the little girl's words hit him like a whisper from the past. He watched them from a distance as they sat together, Lena gently wiping crumbs from Mia's cheeks, her voice soft and loving. There was warmth there, the kind he hadn't felt in years. Ethan had lost his wife, Emily, in a car accident 5 years ago. They had no children. Since then, life had been a blur of meetings, mergers, and silent nights in an empty penthouse. No laughter, no warmth, no dreams. Until now, Mia's eyes, bright, innocent, full of knowing, stirred something in him. They reminded him of the life he had once imagined but never got to live. A few minutes later, as Lena gathered their things, her coffee spilled slightly on the counter. "Oh, no," she sighed, searching for napkins. Ethan stood up immediately and handed her a clean handkerchief. "Here, please take this." Lena looked up, surprised. "Oh, thank you, that's very kind." Their hands brushed briefly, and for a moment their eyes met, just long enough for something unspoken to pass between them. "Mom," Mia tugged on her sleeve, "he smells like the man in my dream, too." Lena laughed nervously. "Mia," but Ethan didn't laugh. Instead, his heart skipped a beat, because in his dreams lately, he'd seen something, too. A woman with soft brown hair arranging flowers. A little girl's laughter echoing in the background, and a voice that whispered, "It's time to live again." He had dismissed it as grief playing tricks on him. But now, seeing him in front of him, something inside him whispered, this isn't a coincidence. They were about to leave when Lena turned back. "Thank you again, mister." "Ethan," he said. "Ethan Cole." "I'm Lena," she smiled politely. "And this is my chatterbox, Mia." "Hi, Mr. Ethan." Mia grinned and waved. Ethan smiled softly. "Hi there, Mia." Lena hesitated before saying, "You know, she's been dreaming about meeting someone lately. She kept telling me about a man who looked sad but kind. She said she was supposed to find him and give him flowers." Ethan swallowed, emotion tightening his throat. "That's interesting." Lena laughed lightly. "Kids, right? Anyway, I run a small flower shop nearby. Maybe she just sees too many flowers and makes up stories." "Maybe," Ethan said quietly. "But sometimes stories come true in unexpected ways." As they left, Ethan couldn't focus on anything else. He sat for a long while, staring at the handprint Mia had left on his table, a faint smudge of chocolate and innocence. He felt something shift inside him, a sense that fate had brushed past him, waiting to see if he'd follow. And he did. Later that afternoon, Ethan walked into the flower shop across the street. The bell above the door chimed softly. Lena looked up, surprised. "Oh, Mr. Ethan, I hope you don't mind," he said, glancing around at the colorful blooms. "I thought I'd get some flowers today." "For someone special?" she asked. He paused. "I'm not sure yet." Mia appeared from behind the counter, holding a small daisy. "Here, this one's for you, Mr. Ethan." He crouched down. "For me?" She nodded seriously. "You look sad. But in my dream, when I gave you flowers, you smiled." Ethan's throat tightened. He took the daisy gently. "Thank you, Mia. I think I'll keep this one forever." Over the next few weeks, Ethan found himself returning. Sometimes for flowers, sometimes for coffee, but mostly for the quiet joy that bloomed in that small shop. He'd sit with Lena during her breaks, talking about simple things, music, favorite places, memories. And every time Mia ran to greet him with her tiny arms wide open, he felt a piece of his heart heal. One day, as they were closing up, Lena looked at him softly. "You know, Mia doesn't open up to people easily, but with you, it's like she's known you forever." Ethan smiled faintly. "Maybe she has, in another life." Lena chuckled. "You're poetic for a businessman." "Maybe I just found something worth feeling again," he replied quietly. A month later, the cafe where they first met became their little tradition. Every Saturday morning, they'd sit together, Ethan, Lena, and Mia. That morning was especially peaceful. The sunlight danced on their table, and Mia was busy drawing little daisies on a napkin. Ethan leaned back, watching them, a rare calm settling in his chest. Then Mia suddenly looked up, her voice gentle but certain. "Mom," she said, tugging Lena's sleeve, "that's the man for my dream." Lena smiled. "Yes, sweetheart, you've said that before." But Mia shook her head and pointed at Ethan again, her eyes glowing with quiet wonder. "No, Mommy, I mean that's him, the man who was lost. The one the angels told me to find." Ethan froze. His cup trembled slightly in his hand. Lena blinked, confused. "Angels?" Mia nodded. "They said he was sad because he forgot how to smile. They told me to find him and give him flowers, so he could see the sun again." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes before he could stop them. Lena reached across the table, gently covering his hand. "Ethan, are you okay?" He smiled faintly, voice breaking. "I think I am now." Mia grinned, her small hands cupping his. "See, Mommy? He's smiling just like in my dream." And in that quiet cafe, surrounded by sunlight and the scent of coffee, the CEO Millionaire realized something he had forgotten long ago. Sometimes, love doesn't find you through logic or plans. It finds you through little miracles. "Mom, that's the man from